Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Sweet. Well, welcome to the call. Hope you've all had a great day. Mine was good. It's a bit rushed. How's Jared? Good to see you in there. Good to see you all. We should turn on our videos and actually just have a fat chat at some point in here. But this evening, got a cool plan. Want to dive into some trading eventually, but to start us off, just give a little recap of what's been happening in the background this week. I know for most of us guys, if we're working, it's pretty hard to get on the Freedom Revolution calls that happen at like 1 o'clock on a Monday. And so the team mindset calls, the one that happened yesterday with that big promo. And then again, there's one tomorrow, Thursday, which is going to be a massive TBX launch call for our team. So Brandon Boyd, Chairman 100, and Dr. Josh Lee, they are both experts in the TBX, which formerly HFX, the high frequency binary options trading, which is now TBX and TBX Pro. So they're doing a special launch call just for our team. So that'll be 1 o'clock on Thursday. And I'm sure they'll record it. So there'll be a way to catch up on that after the fact, but that'll be a really cool demo. I've gone through parts of the TBX Academy. I'm just starting to have a look at it. So I was actually on their channel specifically having a look at it over the weekend, to some of the little videos they got. They got some great videos, like little market, what do they call them? Quick concepts, like in under 5 minutes. Little things on divergence and this, that, and whatever. Just really powerful things to get a grip of what's going on and learning their strategy. So yeah, it's a whole other wave. Obviously, most of us are looking at either DCX or mostly an FRX or dynamic edge. But always open to checking out what's new and what's happening. They've given it a full refresh. So there's aspects of traditional Forex trading in there. And the way that they're building it out by the sounds of it is that they're going to have their time-based trading strategies, but they've created them in a way that can be applied to crypto, Forex, and the binary stuff as well. So something fun. If you've got an elite pack, dive in there, have a look at it if you've got the time. Otherwise, I'm going to go do some research, see what it's about. Otherwise, we'll get a full demo of it later this week, which will be a bit of fun. So yeah, and then just recapping, I know most of you probably missed the call on yesterday. But yeah, it was crazy. Obviously a massive promo for those who have all in the business to potentially get a all expenses paid trip to Panama and the San Blas Islands, which look like apparently the most stunning beaches on the planet. So gunning for that. That'll be pretty epic. It was, we didn't get away for our 10th anniversary. So win that'll be a fun way to, get away with the wife, hopefully, if we can figure out a few things. But it just inspired me seeing all of that and the thought of having some time in there without some of our leaders and obviously like they're doing a whole educator section and bringing in Alex Morton for a whole lot of mindset coaching stuff, which would be profound. So pretty excited about that. See a few more guys jumping in with us. How's it, Colvin? Hi, Cade. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone. I think I've acknowledged everyone. If I've missed you, I'm sorry, but just trying to keep a look at who's all in here. But yeah, guys, this evening, just to set the tone, thought it'd be cool to, just want to give you a brief recap of some of that stuff that's been happening in the background. They often post, obviously, the recordings for us if we miss them. But tonight, guys, pretty keen for us to get into the charts, but thought it'd be really cool to get us going with, just open it up for Michael to share some trading wisdom and some mindset for us. Not some massive training tonight, as in some of the previous calls that we've done. If you've missed any of those and you're pretty new, then I might show later on my YouTube channel to some of the videos that some of you guys may have missed that I can share with you. They're unlisted because they're not for the whole world, they're for our team. So if you're keen on those, I'll show you them and I can send you the links as well. But guys, so we're gonna run till about 9 o'clock, and then we'll have Michael share some mindset stuff and open mic for any of you guys. I would love to hear what you guys are learning. Hopefully you've got a whole lot of stuff that you're all busy tracking through, but the best way to learn something is to teach it. And so if you are learning something, either chatting with your spouse about it or a friend, or journaling, being aware of it. Otherwise, sharing it in our chat or sharing it even here. If you're up for it, then give us a 1 to 2 minute blurb of what's been sticking out to you recently, whether it's spotting divergence or making some wins or just something that's clicking for you, and just love to celebrate that. And yes, I saw Michael post down there bootcamp. I need to check all my notes down here. So let me open the chat window. Here we go, guys. Sorry, I didn't have that open. So something very exciting that Michael and myself are busy brainstorming about. So we are planning to put together, still pretty early days, we're planning to put together about a 2 to 3 night bootcamp as a special opportunity call for us to invite anyone who might be mildly open to thinking, what the heck are we up to here? Just to show them what's up. And so the idea is we're going to structure a 3-night thing where the plan is someone can come in right from the get-go, already have access to a little 3-minute video that'll prep them on how to download MT4, how to set up a demo account. And so from night 1, we can start by sharing some high quality mindset training and quality content on the basics of trading, and take someone from zero to understanding the concepts of leverage and what we're all doing here, compounding an account, etc. And then obviously as well, transition to a full demo of Dynamic Edge and a night of trading with that, and potentially close on the last night with with a bang. So pretty excited about that. Something to put in the back of your minds as a cool opportunity. If you've got anyone that you're aware of that might be interested in this, instead of just a one night, come and get a glimpse of it, full on 3-day event that will run properly through Facebook and get people signed up for. Got one friend locally who's in a different team, started in the academy same time as me, but in the space of less than a year has built a team to a few hundred people in the States from here, and ran those types of boot camps. And so I heard of people doing them and he thought, we'll give them a go. I know Michael's done them before as well in the past. So I thought it'd be super fun to come together and put on something like that, where we can actually take someone from zero to actually pushing the buttons with us, building that account and learning just in a very short amount of time, just demystifying the process, guys. Obviously there's hours of studying involved in practice and training, but if we can give someone that initial exposure for a few nights and get them plugged in and just dreaming bigger, like this is actually possible. Some of the feedback from some of the open calls that we've had from some people that I've had have just been like, oh wow, like I knew it was going to be a learning journey, but it feels that much more demystified and actually feel like I could do that. So that's the idea, guys. We want people to be able to enter the space and pursue this journey of freedom financially, and just bring them hope, because I believe this is an incredible opportunity for all of us, and it's worth sharing with those who need it, right? So that is probably enough rambling from me for now. Let me see, where am I? Let me just double check I haven't forgotten anything. So let's hand it over to Michael. And then from there, guys, we will, open up. If you can think in the back of your mind, anything you want to share, maybe drop it in the chat if you've got something to share, so we don't just have a crickets moment when we transition. But after Michael, we'll open it up for, if you guys have got some nuggets that you've been learning, or something that's been, just something recent, like a little epiphany, the lights come on. Love to hear about that and celebrate that. And then we'll transition to a bit of Dynamic Edge together. All right. So Mike, if you're there, guys, that's, let's see, I'm going to pin you. There we go. Put you there. Are you unmuted? You go for it, man. Let me see. I think.
Yeah, I'm all ready.
Got you. Perfect. Guys, drop some love in the chat for Michael. This is such a privilege to be able to learn from this man and our team. So appreciate you, man. Take it away.
All right. Hey, guys. Hey, if I'm looking up, don't worry. It's just because I've got other screens around me and there's trades going on. So I'm fully focused on what I'm sharing. But every so often I look up and just see what's happening in the markets, because this is the London Open. I've just taken out about 80 pips or 80, 90 pips, and I've got a couple of open positions. So I'm just going to look up every now and again, and I'll look back. But something I'd like to just cover tonight is when we look at trading is only about 20% skill, and it's about 80% psychology. And so it's really awesome that IM focuses a lot on personal development, because when you can get this right, it reflects in your trading. And I'm just going to share briefly tonight about how we can change habits, and how you see yourself, or how you understand who you are in every part of life is actually one of the most important things about you. Who do you think you are? And for a lot of us, if we come from an environment that hasn't involved good financial stewardship or trading or investing, or not understanding money management correctly, it's quite a transition from the old into the new. And sometimes a lot of habits that need to be changed. And often there are a lot of habits that need to be changed, to be fair. And there's a whole lot of new things that need to be learned, a lot of things that need to be unlearned. And so I'm just going to cover a few things tonight on what that looks like, because these things will really help you. And no one taught me these things when I started trading a long time ago. And so I just found my own way, the wrong way. It was all trial and error, and had no one to tell me how to work this correctly and how to think the right way. And whenever we try and change the wrong thing, there's 3 layers to it. The first is outcomes. So our goals, what do we want? So when a lot of people begin trading, they have the perception, or they have the goal, I want to be financially free. I want to make a lot of money. I want to get out of debt. I want to buy a house, whatever. Those are the outcomes. Those are the goals. Those are the things you get. But those are not the most important things. They're important, but they're not the most important thing. The next thing down is the process. And so most habits are built on a process. Those are the things we do. So for example, you might have, your outcome might be, I want to lose weight. The process is, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, and I'm going to reduce my calorie intake every day. I'm only going to drink water. That's the process. But the third layer is identity. And identity really encompasses your beliefs, your biases, your assumptions. They are all held in your identity. It's about what you believe. So there's 3 layers to habits. The first is outcomes, which is what you get. The second is the processes, what you do. The third thing is the identity, what you believe. And with trading, your identity needs to be correct in order for you to actually be successful. And the direction of the change is the most important thing. So yes, we want to get out of debt or be financially free, or make a lot of money, but most people focus on that. They focus on the what, but the best way to form a new habit is to build an identity-based habit. So again, you've got the base layer, identity, or you've got the process, or you've got the outcome. If you begin to form a habit on an identity basis, it'll flow through the outcome, and it'll flow through the process and into the outcome. So how do you see yourself as someone who has never traded before or never invested before, and now you're in an academy which is teaching you how to trade and understand money correctly? And I guess a great example is someone who's a smoker. You know, let's say that someone's trying to quit smoking, and you say, hey, you know, would you like a cigarette? And you can have 2 responses. One is, no thanks, I'm trying to quit smoking, which is the outcome, which is the wrong thing to focus on. But you might offer a cigarette to another guy, and he might say, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. So he's not identifying himself with smoking at all. The other guy says, I'm trying to stop, but he still thinks he is a smoker. He's focusing on changing the outcome rather than changing his identity. And you'll see where I'm going with this soon. But I know another guy who's an amazing leader in the world. He's changing communities everywhere he travels. And he used to have a crazy meth addiction. And so he would actually leave his family for days at a time and just binge meth. And he'd come back after 4 or 5 days and tell his friend, man, I just blew it. I blew it. You know, I failed my family again. I failed you. I failed everyone who's trying to help me. And his friend would just say, you know, don't worry. This is not who you are. This is not who you are. Instead of saying, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, he said, no, this is not who you are. And in fact, just the last few weeks with my son, he's just young, just a little guy. And he lied to us quite a few times about a few things. And I said, Luca, I said, you know, I understand that you lie, but this is not who you are. This is not who you're designed to be. Rather than saying, don't lie, you don't lie. Rather than focus on changing the outcome, we're trying to focus on how he thinks about himself. And most people don't consider identity change when they set improvement goals. And so each of you guys, as you've entered the trading world, you have improvement goals. But behavior that's incongruent with yourself will not last. If you try to only change your behavior without changing your identity and without changing the way you see yourself, the behavior aspect won't last. And in trading, a lot of people make a lot of money. But I mean, another great example, this is a perfect example, is people who win the lottery. The vast majority of people who win lotto blow all their money within a year. And some of them, it's like $100 million. It's because they are not the sort of person they need to be. They haven't got the right sense of self-identity to actually steward that money. And it's exactly the same with trading. I've met traders who made a lot of money and then they've lost it because of the identity focus. They're focused on the outcome rather than changing who they are. So it's hard to change your habits if you don't change your underlying beliefs. And we're going to look at some of these beliefs tonight for traders. and what that could be for you, because true behavioral change is actually an identity change. That's amazing. True behavioral change is actually identity change. So you might start a habit out of motivation. So for example, you might have the motivation, man, I want to pay off my debt. I want to have a mortgage-free home. I want to set my kids up for life. That might be your motivation, but it won't last unless that motivation becomes a part of who you are. So another way to look at that is you can have good goals, but goals by themselves are not enough. So for example, you might have someone who hears that reading is good because readers are leaders and all leaders are readers, and you might want to learn how to read. So instead of saying, I want to learn how to read, you would focus on, I want to become a reader because readers read, rather than I want to read a book. And so you don't just want to trade, you want to become a trader. Because a lot of people, and I've met so many people over the years who have approached trading as a hobby or approached it as a side hustle. And some people, if they're extremely disciplined, can be successful with that, but it's extremely rare. So instead of just saying, I want to learn to trade, no, I want to become a trader. And how do we change our habits? How do we come into a sense of behavioral change? I think it's really just two things. The first is you need to decide on the type of person that you want to be. You want to decide, who do I want to be? And then you begin to prove that to yourself with small wins. And every action you take is actually a vote for the type of person that you wish to become. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. So you might say, I'm choosing to become a trader because I see the end result. But the most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. So you guys have joined the academy, you're learning strategies, you've got goals, you're learning to study. But the most important question to ask is, okay, I want these particular outcomes. The question you need to ask yourself is, who is the type of person that could get that outcome that I desire? So if that outcome is, I want to, achieve a $2 million income bracket within 2 years by trading, okay, what type of person could get that outcome? And that's the sort of person that we're looking to become as traders. What does that person need to look like? Again, coming back to the example of the person who wins the lotto, what sort of person has the ability to steward, given $1 million or $100 million from scratch, when they've never even been able to manage their own bank account, or they've always had spending problems, or they've had gambling issues, or they've never ever known how to steward money correctly? So the question that we need to ask ourselves is, I see the outcome. That's not the thing I need to focus on. Who do I need to become? I choose to identify myself as a trader, but now what kind of trader is able to achieve that outcome? And that's why I am so powerful, because it focuses on the personal improvement of who you are. Because if you don't change how you think about money, so in fact, I just made a list of a couple of things that you can consider for a trader. In order for me to be a successful trader, in order for me to develop certain outcomes or achieve certain outcomes, I need to be someone who can control my emotions. I need to become someone who is okay with having small losses. I need to become someone who is disciplined to follow rules. And with a lot of the strategies that we have, they're rule-based. And if you don't follow the rules, then you'll have a low probability trade and you might lose money, or you probably will lose money. For a trader, if I want to be a successful trader, if I want that outcome, I need to develop a wealth mindset. I need to remove that poverty mindset that I'm never going to have enough. I need to think differently. In order to become a successful trader, I need to be future oriented. So maybe in the past, you're someone who has not been future oriented. You've lived for the moment. You've maybe lived to survive. You've lived for the week to, feed your family or whatever. Okay, yes, that's important, but in order to be someone who's going to be making X amount of money, whatever your goal is within 5 years or whatever your time cap is, I need to be someone who looks ahead. But hang on, I've never done that before. Okay, you need to change that. To become a successful trader, you need to be someone who's future oriented. I plan to make X amount of money, and these are great goals to have by this date. And with that money, I will choose to buy real estate, or I'll choose to buy this, or buy a business, whatever. You have to become future oriented. To become a successful trader, you need to become someone who is consistent. And in fact, I was talking with Russell this week, and I think another trader, and we were talking about the slow method of just banging out that 2% a day or 3% a day, whatever it is. And it's boring. I mean, sometimes there's days where I've done like 20% in the day, and I've thought, man, I want to do more, but I've already done a week's target. Just walk away, Michael. You just need to bang out consistently. And sometimes it's mundane and sometimes it's boring. But in order to be successful, if I want that compound interest to actually work powerfully for me, I need to become someone who is consistent and follows the rules. It just snaps off the trade, stay consistent. Get on my computer the same time every night. If you have a set process, get on the computer, go through my cheat sheets, look at the charts, be consistent. Get a screenshot of my trade, go over the trade, reanalyze it, see what I did correctly, what I could have changed. I need to become consistent. If I want to become a successful trader, I need to become someone who can learn from my mistakes. So although the outcomes are really exciting and the potential is amazing for a lot of them, because all outcomes are, if it's a goal, it's a result, it's something that we want to achieve, which is going to be life transformational. In order to achieve that, I need to change the way I see myself. I need to first choose to become someone. Okay, I choose to become a trader. That's not going to happen immediately, but the choice is made. Now I'm going to take a lot of small, consistent steps, which is what we call habits. And those habits begin to form who I become. Whatever you do repeatedly, that is what you'll become. I think it was Socrates said that. Whatever you do consistently or repeatedly, that is the person you truly are. And so, for us as traders, our identity as a holistic person, as a man or woman, is quite broad. There's a lot of different things that make up our identity, what makes you, you. However, in this specific space, focusing on someone who chooses to call himself a trader, start from there, hold the outcome in your hand and say, if I want to get there, then I need to become disciplined by small steps. I need to become future oriented. I need to slowly develop a wealth mindset. I need to become someone who can learn from my mistakes. I need to become someone who's okay with taking small losses. I need to become someone who has the ability to control my emotions, because all of these things are the 80% of what makes a successful trader. The 20% is skill. It's easy. Here's a strategy. Here's the rules. About 90 to 95% of people you give those rules to can't follow them because they choose to not change this, and they're not focusing on who they are. They're only focusing on the motivation of the outcome. So what I'll do after tonight is I'll note those few things out. Control emotions, be okay with small losses, discipline to follow the rules, have a wealth mindset, be future oriented, be consistent, and learn from my mistakes. I'll put those out in the chat so you can focus on them and say, okay, what about me? If I want to achieve this goal, are my emotions under control? Because they'll need to be in trading. Am I okay with taking small losses? Or are you someone who hates losing? Man, you need to change in order to become okay with losing, because I lost some trades last week and the week before. I need to be okay with that. I need to be disciplined. There's a whole lot of these things. But I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from tonight. If you don't know who you are, then you won't know how to live your life. whether that's outside trading at work, if you have no concept of your true identity, then your living will be incongruent with that. So we don't want you to focus on changing your behavior only, but start with who you are and who you want to become, and then take small steps in that direction, and that identity will begin to grow, and you'll begin to grow into that outcome. So I'll just leave it there tonight. I don't want to give you too much, but I guess there will be enough there for you guys to think about, take some notes of, and I might take a few of those concepts and maybe put them in something and share them in the chat tonight or tomorrow, and you guys can go over them again and maybe glean some more from that. So I'll give it back to you, Ty, and you can take us into the rest of the night.
Amazing. Bro, thank you so much. I've got a decent page of notes down below, and I'm looking forward to more of that, man. Thank you so much. Let me take this over here, guys. Wow, yeah, drop some appreciation in there. I can see it. Yeah, thank you guys. Super fun. Really love that. Like, just lean back into that fact, guys. 20% skill, 80% mindset. If you don't feel like you have the skill down yet, don't worry. Like, it takes time, but really it's being very okay to put in the time and the mind. So super powerful, man. I'm just like mulling over some of that stuff. Yeah, the story we tell ourselves. I mean, that is if you haven't noticed, the story, the first line when we log into our main website is, what will you become? Like, that is the front tagline of the academy. So really powerful. Really love that. Transitioning over, I want to keep talking about that theme, but I'm just also monitoring a trade that I've got going on here. So if anyone's watching the scanner on the NAS, there was a pretty good call just a few minutes ago. It has run to target. I'm just I can screen share and talk through it if you like. Let me just hang on. We're about to run into some resistance on this line, so let me just lock this in. Lift this. It has run nicely, really nicely. 6. Sorry, bear with. There we go. I'll leave that there for now. That is nice. At least 20 something pips so far. So let me move this over. Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. Love it. Right, let me do a screen share, guys, and then I can keep talking while we've got this going. So let me go there. Share. You should be able to see my screen now. Let me get this out the way. Put that in the middle. Let me know if you can't see it. Hopefully you can. I've got, it kind of moves everything all over the show when I do this. But yeah, I don't mind if you guys unmute yourselves. By all means, we can have a chat tonight, guys. So I want to talk through this trade that went off just a few minutes ago. Some of you might have been watching it. I'm still in it. I've looked to my stop, but so I'm clear. But it's running nicely, really nicely. 30 pips now. So yeah, what we have right here. And sorry guys, also bypassed it. I didn't see anyone put in there that they had got some things that they've been thinking about that they've learned recently and would like to chat about. But if guys, I'd love to hear it. Really, I would really love to celebrate whatever you've been learning, what you've been studying. There are 62 videos in the Forex Academy. There's got to be something, unless you've all smashed through it and it's all in there already. But if I can't see the chat and I'm not responding, by all means, unmute yourself, because yeah, I've got multiple screens in front of me and looking at a few different things at once. But this trade right here, we have got stuff that has been moving. And so Mike as well, if you're seeing anything in the background, feel free to shout out if you're spotting something. But basically, guys, what I'm looking at, and if I think we may have a couple new guys here this evening. Let me hang on. I've just lost a few settings here from where I was. Let's get this opened. Oh, let's see. I think I may have spotted James's name in there. So, I mean, James has joined us today. So if you're in here still, man, welcome. So good to have you with us. Just I've lost the menu of who's who and who's here at the moment. But essentially, guys, most of you have seen this before. So I am looking at the dynamic edge right now. I am looking at the US Tech 100, which is the NAS. And so to get here, this little button, once you've loaded pivots, which is all part of orientation, you come down here, select dynamic edge, and then go through these options. If you can see my cursor, select I for indices, and then US Tech 100. And so that's what I'm on. I'm gonna move that over so we can see a bit of a bigger picture. Just seeing what I've got going on here now that we're rolling over a little bit. But yeah, guys, so we had the signal go off recently, been waiting and watching for it. Pretty cool in the timing of it. If we zoom out a little bit, going to show you just how we got here, really. So I've got that big blue line there for divergence, but I mean, zooming out to a 3 minute, you can see already over here. Let me do this. Let me pull up our cheat sheet and our rules, right? So divergence, guys. Here is our little mini divergence Bible. So what we've got, well, that just got big suddenly. What we're looking at right here is LL is for lower lows on the top. So with price action, lower lows, and then higher lows on the MACD on the bottom equals move up. And so getting that out the way, what we've got here, we've got a low, which is lower than that low. And over here on the bottom, we've got a low that is on the histogram been printing higher. So we've got a low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, and etc. We've got lower lows on top of higher lows. So from, I mean, we've seen this. This has been playing out since, let me get my timing right. Sorry, my clock's wrong on the bottom of this chart. So, not that one. New Zealand. So this has been playing out since 1851 New Zealand time, and coming along, dropping down. Price has been dropping, momentum's been lifting. Already got the little divergence, the little D's down here. That's already the indicator telling us on the actual signal line. And so paying attention, you know, since we launched the call, guys, really, just before I spotted this, had a look, and we've just been coming down. Then we had this reverse. And if I even zoom out further, the 5 minute chart's going to show us a little more. So just part of my process, guys, for when I show up to trade, I'm looking at the charts, I'm zooming out, really. I start from the highest time frame, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, sometimes a 30 as well, 5 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute. And I'm just taking note of what I'm seeing. I'm looking at the day. I'm looking at, you know, the times of maybe what happened around the New York Open this morning, looking at pivot levels. And so right here, you know, without going too far back in time, just looking at even this on a 5 minute chart, price coming down, MACD coming up. So even on a high time frame, I mean, 5 minutes not really all that high, but it's higher than the one. And so we're probably gonna need a signal on the 5 minute in a moment there. So the 15 minute coming over here, we turned up. Let's see, that's higher. So again, even here, guys, on a bit of a bigger scheme of things, going back to lunchtime, we've got the same lower low over there. And this might be a little harder to see, but if you do a horizontal line, like a horizontal ray on the MACD from there to there, you can see that these lows over here, and you can drag this to over exaggerate it. These lows came down, but they're still higher than those. So we've still got lower lows, higher lows in the 15 minute. And I'll delete that just because it's a little funny when I get onto a different time frame. I mean, you can zoom out further, but for now, that was enough, like, to see that, okay, the 15 minutes diverging for a move up. So we got on the 5 minute, now we've got a signal on the 5. So now we're really going. So I mean, I haven't, let's double check here. Let's see, this is just refreshing. Pretty sure I'm still there. Yep, haven't been stopped out, still running. No, maybe I did. No, got stopped out. I lifted my stop too close. But now we've got a signal on the 5. So if anything, this thing could still potentially go. We're just looking for divergence against us to monitor if things are going to turn around in our face. And that could be possible because we've still got lower. So divergence for a move against us, guys. We're looking for, let's get this right over here. We're looking for lower highs. And it's, I mean, James, when he teaches us, is more like as at now. And so really, if we're looking here, we've got higher highs and higher highs. If we look further back, sure enough, we've got, you know, these highs are lower than those. These highs are higher than those. And so if we're looking in this sense like this, you could say that we've got some divergence in our face over there for a move down. And so over here, guys, if we're looking at this divergence chart again, we've got, where am I? Over here, top right, lower highs, LH. So those highs over there are lower than those. And on the bottom, higher highs. So we're higher over here and equals a move down. And so we could be bumping into a bit of a resistance wall over here. But there's probably a whole lot of you guys that follow more Elliott wave, big picture stuff, and you're aware of what's going on, what wave we're in. I haven't looked at all that right now. I've just been looking at the strategy. For instance, we've got just on the 3 minute, even what I'm looking at right now, you know, we've got a dot flip, which is on the line of the Bollinger Bands, which is one of the steps in the process. If it's outside or on the line, same thing. That's great. We like that. And you can see just bumping into this pink EMA right here, closing below, still trying to push up. Like, I love Michael's language for that. Like pushing your fingers through a fence, but then still getting rejected and closing below. So it's not like it's a wall. I love that analogy for being like a fence. But even look here, guys, on the 3 minute, MACD starting to roll over a little bit from that action there. So we're still following the yellow brick road. That is one of the Get that out of the way. That's done. Following the yellow brick road, which is yellow EMA, which is part of James's strategy as well. So if price is following that, obviously if there's divergence in the game, starts from about to run into a wall, really good idea to lift those stops or take a large portion off the table and potentially hold a little bit there if you believe in a bigger scheme of things that price is going to continue to run up. I mean, things are starting to turn. The center of the road, our black line is starting to just tip up a little bit, but it's still pretty flat. So we're in the middle of what could be a bit of a bigger reversal. Dan, thank you. Dot flip. Where am I? We go to the one. Okay, so yeah, on the 1 minute, you can see there dot flip already. So this is what we would normally. I'd have 1 and 3 right next to each other, and that's definitely how James teaches it as well. For tonight, I've just got one at a time, and hopefully you can see that entire screen. I know sometimes it chops off the edges of mine, but yeah, we've got a dot flip. So you can see there, price ran up into purple. Even just look at this, guys. So, breaking this down from this point, we've got, again, lower lows to that point. And then also on the MACD, let's get over there, like looking over there, and I called it on that signal line too. So right at this point here, you see we're coming down, we're making lower lows. But then what happens there? At that point, we've got a higher low. That low there is higher than that. So we've come up again for a test on the Bollinger, mid-Bollinger black line and pushed down under it. So we're still rejecting that line. But, it's no longer following the yellow brick road. It's coming, it's trying to get up above. That's not yet, that was too early. Still coming down, rejecting. But we've got this dot flip outside. So there at 1944, that was a really good time to start paying attention, right? Momentum might be shifting here. And then goes along, breaks. It breaks the band there. So we've got a bit of contraction in the band. So the bands are contracting, but then price breaks above. And then it closes above, pushes off there, and then the bands as well start to expand right after that signal. So we're almost on that line. But at the same time, what else are you noticing here, guys? Hopefully you're all seeing what we love the absolute most, which, to quote James, would be a proper hopper. Excuse my horrible attempt at a British accent, but a hopper is when our blue MACD signal line is coming up and is crossing through zero. So as you can see here on the side here, zero. It's when any time where these MACD lines, blue and orange, are on the bottom of the zero line underneath, we're in sell mode. And when we're above, we're in hopper buy mode. But as it's coming up and crossing through that zero line, we are entering a hopper mode. And when a hopper happens at the same time as a signal, these are two of the best things lining up. When they line up at the same time, guys, that's beautiful. And as you can tell, we had to move. The bands are expanding. We rejected we basically broke above, came back for one little retest. It looked like we tested black and then closed up there nicely and then rejected yellow and then came down for a little bit more of a test. But at this point, you could have entered there and had a nice tight stop and then let it play. And then, based on higher time frame, seeing that divergence, we got that move. And so most of you, we're watching here, we've got a dot flip, but just holding above, still holding above green, pointing up on the one, looks like it might still push up a bit higher. Look at that. So on the 3, we might be clear if we close in 2 minutes above pink. On the 3 minute, we could be running up a bit higher. Another 20 pips potentially to purple as an option. Just depends where this candle goes. Something else might be happening. There we go, pushing up higher. So, I'm out of that trade already, guys. But if you're still in it, oh, sorry, Michael, yes, I just saw your comment now. By all means, please do. If you're unmuted, let me give you the pin. Go for it. Then you can, let me unscreen share.
Yeah, thanks.
Stop share. There we go. Go for it, man. By all means, what are you seeing?
Still disabled screen sharing.
Oh, sorry. That's weird. Oh, I need to give you the host. That's how. Sorry, guys. My, there. And make host. There we go. Now you can screen share. Go for it.
Cool. All right. One. So again, this is the NAS. What I do is often, we're looking for like 2 to 1 or 2.5 to 1. However, every so often we get runners. And if we understand the higher time frame context, we can hold on to that runner for quite a long time. So this is the NAS. I'm just going to do this very simply. This is the monthly chart. And what you can see is that we've come back into the averages. And today's the last day of the month. It's the 31st. And so if this candle closes like that, with this doji into the averages, that's typically a reversal candle. And so this is a great spot for a strong move up, possibly to retest the highs. And if we actually put a fib on the previous move down, look at that. It bounced exactly. So for those who don't know, a fib retracement is something that we can use to measure retracements in price. Price will often move strongly in one direction, and then it will retrace, which is our wave, and then it will continue higher if it's an impulsive wave. So notice how we've touched off exactly the 50% retracement, and we've closed as a doji. Now, if we have a look at the weekly chart, you'll see that we've now printed a bearish engulfing candle. You can see this green candle, the top of it and the bottom of it engulfs the previous two, which is extremely bullish. Now, not only that, but if we look at the weekly histogram, we're now diverging. And if we now go down to the daily chart, you can see that we've also diverged on the daily histogram. So there's our divergence there. So for me, any buy that I make tonight on the NAS, anywhere in this area here, I will be holding for at least 4 or 5 days, because you might probably get a push up to these highs if we get that weekly reversal. And I mean, I'm long on a trade already. I'm long from about here. And so if we actually push up and retest the highs, I have extremely low risk. We're looking at like that high is 11 or 12 to 1. So you're risking 2% to make 20 or 24%. So when you understand the higher time frame context, you can actually hold these for a lot higher. Now, it's possible that we even get up to the next highs up to here based on the higher time frame. Yes, it looks like the market's not going great. However, often the market will end with a spike high and then reverse. So the higher time frame says, the weekly says we're turning up, the monthly says we're turning up, the daily says we're turning up. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, we have now broken above the moving averages, and we've broken through the trend line. So the trend line, let's just remove a few of these things. The trend line is drawing a trend line from the top of these swing highs and extrapolating that line down. Whoops. So what we're doing, let me just remove this one. What we're doing is we are simply connecting that high there with the next high. We can't run the trend line through price. We can't run it, we can't cut it through. We have to run it along the top. What you've seen now is we've hit it again here and bounced through it. So I'm extremely bullish on this, and I'm going to hold my position on the NAS all through tonight and let it run. Now, for those of you who don't trade the NAS, I traded dynamic edge on the pound tonight. Okay, so I had a successful trade. In fact, let me just show you the trade. It was successful. So I'll just put my deal map in. So I actually executed, here's the deal map up for 21 pips. There's my deal map. However, so I executed the trade on C Trader from the bottom, as you can see. However, the setup I'll show you on TradingView. So here's our dynamic edge. Here's our 3-minute chart on the left. Here's our 1-minute chart on the right. Now, as price came down and it broke the former lows, you can see that we had divergence on the 3-minute chart on the MACD line. And so as we came down, I was watching for any divergence on the 1-minute chart. Sure enough, we got divergence on the histogram. This hasn't got the signal on it, the little arrow. However, we broke above the central line. It wasn't a hopper. However, it was a divergence on the higher time frame. So there was my long position, and it's still moving higher. So I'm still open on that trade. I took out most of my trade at 2 to 1, as you can see there. So there's the entry right at the bottom, stop just below the low. And so we've got 1, 2, and I still have 3 positions in there, which are moving higher. So for those of you who don't trade the NAS, you can also trade the currency markets as well. So that's my high time frame context for the NAS. I think we're going a lot higher, and I'll be looking to hold, even if it goes down tonight. If I get long again tomorrow, based on the monthly close and the weekly close, I'll definitely be looking at going higher from here. So that's it from me.
So good, bro. Man, that was awesome. Amazing. I love knowing that big picture stuff. Really, really cool. Could you please throw the host back to me? Or I don't know if I can, let's see. I'm not sure if I can take it back. Let's see. Let's see. That work? Cool. Okay, we're back. We're back. Alrighty. How cool is that? Okay, I'll share my screen again. Get my face out the way. You're not here to see me, you're here to see the charts, right? So there we go. Hopefully you can see that. I see Dan's got a question there for you, Michael. Where do you put the stop on a long-term trade like that? Feel free to unmute yourself and answer that, man, if you want. I suppose obviously you might have a much bigger stop in terms of pips going down, but yeah.
Yeah, Hayden, good question. So for me, obviously, often price can spike back down low again. So if we're trading off a 1-minute chart, I will always just be risking that 2%, even if it's a swing trade, because if it's a runner, it will just run away. It won't even come back and test my stop. If it does come back and test my stop, and I've already taken out a 2-to-1, and I'm letting my last position run, there'll always be another opportunity to get in the trade. So I always make sure that the risk is limited, but always take out 2-to-1 initially. That's what I do. And then I leave 1 lot in for a runner. If it does come back and test the stop, then we might be doing some sort of corrective action before moving higher. And then I'll just wait for another opportunity to get in. Sometimes you have to take 2, 3, 4 bites at the apple in order to get, a 10 or 20 banger. And that's okay. I'm willing to do that, but always keep your risk small. There is a temptation to put it under that low on the weekly or monthly chart. However, often you'll get these massive liquidity runs where the whales, the big traders, will push price down, take out all the liquidity in a spike low, and then slam it up higher again. So it's better just to keep your risk at your standard 2%. And if it does come down, hey, look for another bite at the apple.
So rad, bro. Love it. It's, just having a look, zooming out, as you can even see on the daily, we got a signal yesterday. So that first push up, we crossed over, got a signal, and obviously we've just been seeing a little bit of that, retest on yellow. So it's like even zooming out on the dynamic hedge, we're seeing it play out. I mean, the dot's not on the outside, but yeah, that big picture stuff's beautiful. So even where we are right now, 12, 7, 19, even just getting to pink is what, 450 pips by the looks of it. So yeah, if we're, look, I don't know how accurate James's thing would work in the context of massive high time frames. Normally it's 2-to-1. That would be, somewhere up there where, oh, look at that, the target's calling it. So yeah, potentially even in the 1500 range, guys. So very exciting. I mean, that's probably also in the context of a fib, drawing it the other way. I mean, this is going to be a weird one because it's not the one I usually, it's going to have some random looking colors on it, but going this way for running into a wall. I know 886 is the line that I usually add on here. And so if I customize this fib a little bit inside of here and go, let's firstly get rid of this background because that drives me crazy. And then add on 0.886. And it's not green, but anyway, that's usually red. But that would be another line right there in that zone where we could run into a bit of a wall, obviously that high. But that we could run up and test that. So get that out the way and get back to that lower time frame. But yeah, guys, obviously we're looking for those nice, sweet, short, punchy entries. But if you get into one and you're okay with keeping that stop, low enough to stay in the trade for one of them. Obviously it's a much different animal if if your stop is like below the low down on the higher time frame down here somewhere. I mean, that's a massive stop. But if that's still if you're still trading whatever that amount of pips is, and whatever value per pip for that equals 2% of your account, you're good. You just got to do some math and figure that one out. But zooming back in, where are we up to? 8:30. Let's just get this going. Zoom in a bit. It's running now. Look at that, guys. So even on the 3 minute, we're pushing up towards. Oh, I lifted my stop too close. That wick right there got me and stopped me out, I think, somewhere in that zone. But you know what? Still made a good chunk of pips. I think it was at least 30. But yeah, look at that on the 1. Looking beautiful, guys, above that pivot line. So look at that. Even there, guys, part of James's strategy, we've got this yellow pivot line in here, or Camarilla line, because I've adjusted it to how James likes it. And Camarillas, the way he describes it, are kind of like a cousin of the pivot lines. I'm sure someone can give me a much better analysis or description of them. But as you can see, we ran into it. And what happened? That's why it's so important to have these lines on here, guys, because it's a wall that you could run into and then potentially retest. So we've come up, got above that target line, bumped into that EMA, pushed back down a little, crossed above, one more test of green, and then in here, we just rocketed. So I don't know what happened in that moment. Probably a different candle and a different high time frame closed, but then rocketed off, bumped into that Camarilla, closed below, one more little retest, followed the yellow brick road. We're still going. So what do we got? Higher, let's see, starting to looking like we're rolling over a bit, but obviously, guys, on a 1 minute chart, we're going to experience waves. It's going to go up and it's probably going to come back down. I mean, the center of the road is pointing up nicely right now, but every expansion and growth and run still comes with a little bit of selling pressure at some point. So if you do lift your stop too close, you are going to get nipped like I did. And but it's fine if you're locking in gains. What I should have done rather is lifted my stop maybe not as high and just taken a portion off the table, so I was guaranteed to leave some in there with a lower stop. That's another way to rather do it, to make sure if you are getting stopped out, once you're stopped out, you're stopped out. But if you rather take some off the table and then keep that stop at a bit of a distance, you've still locked in some profit, but then that trade has a high chance of not stopping you out and keep going. So we're above this Camarilla on a 3 minute. Those bands are still pointed out, but obviously MACD is rolling a little. This target 12,761, so another 30 pips up potentially, in line with those highs over there. That would be pretty epic if you got in down on the signal. Anyone in this trade? Are we the only ones talking about it? I don't know, you might have been listening to us, but yeah, guys, that signal back then at 7:56, if you were, it's a good one. Really, really good one. So, with obviously dynamic edge, guys, stop on the P side dot and just looking for, so where did I get stopped? Somewhere around that wick, somewhere around that original target line. I'll just drag it out the way. Sorry, bear with. I'm getting some music here in the background too. Where are we? Yeah, so if you're still in this and you entered with that same stop, and obviously you could have lifted your stop a while ago. I mean, if I wasn't wicked out, guys, right now this would have been 11-1, which is like, I love this strategy. Even though I was wicked out, I still love that every now and then, we get these trades that run. So if you're entering now, you are late, but according to the 1 minute dynamic edge rules, but wait for a pullback, wait for a stronger test of, say, the mid BB, look at the high time frames, still just because it's going up in the big picture. Oh, there we go. Sorry, Dan, you're saying re-entry signal at 8:30 a minute ago. So what did I miss? Where am I looking? Sorry, if I don't see what you're saying in the chat, please, by all means, you're welcome to talk to me. Higher lows, lower lows. Yeah, so we've even still got divergence for that continuation over here. So that's another thing, guys. If price is coming around, but we've still obviously got, what do we got? We've obviously got higher lows happening. But over here in this particular setting, we've got some lower lows. So what's happening there? Between there and there, as at now, James would say, we've got higher lows, we've got lower lows, could push down a little bit further. We've got a dot flip right there, but we're still diverging for a move up. as at around here. That could still push a little bit lower, obviously between there, but potential for rejection of a line. Basically, if we're moving towards a line and there's divergence for a continuation up, then yeah, that could be another possible re-entry zone. But yeah, re-entries like that are obviously a little bit more advanced, and it's not quite, you know, the rules as such, but always enter at your own risk. But perfect world, guys, we're entering on the signal, and right now with the dot flip, you know, you'd let that play out a little bit more, because it, you know, where do you put your stop right now? If you're entering and you're looking from a dynamic edge standpoint of right here, if you're looking for a massive hold, then you're going to be big stop and a very small lot size. But yeah, that's let's see where we're at. Let's find some music rather than everyone just listening to me chatter over and over and over again. Let's see what I got here. But yeah, guys, if any of you have got something on your mind in the midst of what we're looking at, what you're spotting, or what you've been learning, by all means, let's hear about it, guys. Where am I? Let's do. Sorry, I was looking for some tunes. Just watching that. Still got that dot flip moving towards green. See what this sounds like. Oh, yeah, not that song. This might be a bit of fun. Does anyone have anything they have learned recently that would like to share? There we go. Thanks, Mike, for re-emphasizing that. And likewise, if anyone's got any questions, you know, we're here. So we can make it interactive, guys. I can't see actually currently how many of us are still here. I'm trying to see. My Zoom settings are going to screen share, everything goes a bit funny. Looks like still a good bunch of us here though. Oh, there we go. Still a good bunch of us, 13 of us. Hey. Yeah. Thanks, Happy. So appreciate you, bro. Guys, drop some love in the chat for Happy. How awesome was last week, him sharing and blowing our minds with the Bollinger Bands. If you missed that, got that recording too. Oh, that's what I was going to do, show the channel. So YouTube channel. So guys, whole lot of content here. These are all just some of the videos that we've done over the last, oh gosh, almost a year, but really starting more so in March with Mike. So some of these are public, so if you want, you guys can come to my channel and grab some presentations. If there's anything you want to share with friends, walkthroughs. There's a full 45-minute walkthrough of DCX, FRX that I did. Then from, yeah, hopefully you guys can still, yeah, you can still see my screen. So we've got this first one here that Mike did with us, Elliott wave and divergence, brilliant, into market manipulation and emotional trading. Then we did this little 19-minute one talking about inflation and savings and why crypto. Then key levels, trend line breaks, another really powerful one that Michael did. And then we did another kind of open chat call where we talked about crypto again and investing and that world. And then I think we actually also did a little bit of a demo of what we're looking at even tonight, a little bit of the back end of stuff. Market structure, another one that he did. And then I've got a shorter DCX to a 9-minute video that I did, a little tour video of the Academy. And then these are just some of our Zooms that we've done recently, guys. So DCX walkthroughs, that one that we did here, how we trade and invest, really cool one. That was geared towards friends, nice and light, and doing the walkthrough. And last week's one that we did with Happy. So I've got these, some of them are not public, they're unlisted. So if you went to my channel, you wouldn't find them. So just because they are for our team, those of us who are obviously subscribing here. So let me know if you want any of them specifically, and I can share them with you guys. The public ones are there that you can go to on my channel, but some of them aren't. So just let me know. Otherwise, get back to pivots and the dynamic edge. So sell signal on the one. What do we got? We've still got high lows, lower lows, guys. So I mean, at the moment, it's still divergence for a move up. So bands are contracting. Enough reasons already not to take that sell. It might play out. It might run down to here, but it's just, you know, approaching a hopper. But when you got divergence against you, so it's a sell but divergence for a move up, you get a hopper rejection. So even look at that turning opaque. So hopper rejection looks like, you know, MACD's coming down, looks like it's going to go hopper, sucks you in, and then rejects, bounces back into an upward move. So we just watch it and see it play out. Oh, music makes it hard to hear. Sorry, bro. I can turn it down. Thanks, Joe. A little bit of tunes. Sorry, my mic. I need to get my mic in front of me all rigged up again. That'll make a huge difference. Yeah. So there we go. I mean, we're on the. Look at that. We're on the other side of the road. So, I mean, the signal's obviously valid because that's what triggers it. When price closes on the other side of the road and opens again, that's when we get a signal. So zooming in here, you know, I've got that dot flip and the signal, but really look at that, you know, it came down and this is why. So, I mean, between here, higher lows, lower lows. So everything about that point right there, even before the signal went off, you know, we're divergent for a move up. We crossed over, got that signal. If you were looking at that going, it's a signal, it's a hopper, but you're not paying attention to divergence, that's the exact kind of trade that would go in your face. And so look at that. If you took that signal, watch, we might come and close back above the mid BB here and get another buy signal almost straight away. Might stay below it for a minute and just trace underneath it. And heck, could go a few more bars and then actually roll over and come back and test pink. But in the grand scheme of things, if the big picture theme and trend is up, then you're taking a counter trend sell, which, you know, it's always, James would say, FOB, finger on the button. And you know, most of you guys will know this because you've already been tracking with James and the dynamic edge. So see, we're trying again. They call that a MACD scalper if, you know, we come and start turning opaque and then we turn dark red again, is one of the terms that they give it. But bands are contracting, which is pretty normal. After a move, we get the expansion and then the contraction and then a bit of range. So I mean, we might go sideways here and just play inside of the zone for a while. So, you know, we might not see any massive trades in the next 20 minutes, but yeah, Dan, I hear James in my head when I'm about to do something stupid. I love it. That's so it, man. The boot through the screen is one of the good phrases. His accent, I so enjoy James. Like, if you have not been on James's Go Live, see, there we go. There's the buy signal again, crossed over. I may have not have just called that. There we go. Getting something right this evening. Besides my stop loss being a little bit too tight. I'm not going to cry about that. But again, re-entry opportunity, guys. So heck, let's have a look. I mean, we still might go sideways, but if those bands, let's have a look and see what's going on here. This could be a re-entry point if you're open for it. Let's have a look, testing that high. Let's see what other lines we're around. So yeah, if we bust through purple at 37, so 3 more pips, we get above that, we might be running. There we go. Looks like, come on, maybe. Bands looking like they want to go, pointing up still. Bands are still not expanding just yet, but obviously as soon as that candle goes, we might just bounce around the mid BB here for a little bit, guys. But we got our first sign at least of this MACD potentially changing color again on the histogram. So we will watch. Anyone get any of that Bitcoin trade yesterday? I'm up almost 900 pips on that guy, which is pretty fun. Not sure if anyone is paying. Yes, love it, happy. Of course you are. Yeah. Got in around 30,000. There we go. Come on, there's some movement. Boom, I see blue in front of me and green over there. Bands expanding. Might be a re-entry, guys, if you look. Don't just enter because I said have a good look. The bands are expanding. There we go. Going up, going up. Makes me want to put up the music a little bit more. Sort of the high of that BTC move. Nice. just a stop here. See what happens with this. Yay. See how this goes. So even just following, oh, not that, sorry. Hey, thanks, Alfie. So guys, at the core of dynamic edge is really a 2-to-1, which if you entered and that was your stop, then there we go, we've hit it. So at this point, you could, this is not being greedy. This is you could take your 2-to-1 right there and be a happy chappy. And again, you could treat this as a big term entry for something bigger. Looks like we're about to push up potentially. Let's go and have a little look. We should hit 12,850 easy. There we go, 12,850. Let's do this. Let's put a line here and see what we can find on the higher time frames in line with there. Make it a bit thicker, a different color. Yellow's not gonna, let's do that. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so look at that, we hit that target line, rejected. Let's see. Let's have a look. Five minutes calling at above 800. Probably just going to go higher the higher the time frame I go, right? Let's have a look. Here we go. 15 minutes calling 868. So what is that? The R3 from yesterday is 852. So here we go. This could be fun. Obviously 15 minutes, dots outside. We're probably about to get a signal on the, 12 seconds. Watch this, guys. Let's see. There should be a signal on the 15 minute. When this candle closes on the other side of the road, so we've crossed the road on the higher time frame. Now that we're about to open a fresh candle, that should give us a new candle and a buy signal. Sometimes lags a little bit. There we go. Bang. So high time frames telling us up. This is fun. It might be zigzagging on that lower time frame still, but even there. Golfing. 130 pip, live and running. I love it. Yeah, you got it nice and early with that one. And guys, if you're new and this all sounds like a different language and you're staring at, multicolored spaghetti, don't freak out. It's just some time. It's just a bit of time, putting in the hours and learning the little ins and outs of what's going on here. We all started somewhere and it all looked crazy at one point. But yeah, like James, this is your first day, bro. Awesome to have you with us. Yeah, this, I guess at first, if you've never seen, I don't know what your charting experience is, but obviously this could be like, what the heck are we looking at? There's so many different colors, there's so many different lines. But yeah, where are we? Let's do, well, let me just change time frame to get a little bit lower again. So there we go, let's see what's going on here. So there we go, guys. James's strategy at the core, 2-to-1, would have locked in those gains at that line. And that would be that, you would have got it, you would be done. 4%, if you're risking 2, would have got the 4. And then and then it's pushed back down to come and see if it's going to stop anyone out. Right there, for instance, if you had lifted your stops into profit, you would have been stopped. So let's see what happens. This is going towards, let me get that out the way now. That's played out. Dot outside for the sell. Looks like we're about to push down a bit lower and potentially come and test pink. We'll see if, I don't know, we'll see what happens here. Let's have a look. Because we're not, let's have a look. Band's expanding. This might be a sell, just a bit of a correction down to one of these levels, but we'll see if we even get below here. We'll see. Mike, you could tell me in the midst of this, but I see 5 waves, like in the sense of, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially on the 1 minute. So it might just be a bit of an ABC from here, and a test and a go. But yeah, first day, lots of information, but I'm trying to cope up. Yeah, you'll be fine, man. It's yeah, and to find this, yeah, we'll connect soon. I'll give you a full walkthrough of everything, where stuff's at, and how to find it. So here's the sell. Let's see if we're going to get a bit of an A, B, C to that target. Let's see. Let's mess around here and see what it does. I don't usually do this. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we get anything like this. There. Something like that would be interesting. Come and test that level, and then potentially up from there. That might be completely wrong what I've drawn, but what is it? Yeah, I'm not even going to try to quote Elliott wave theory to you guys when Mike's in the chat. That's just embarrassing, because I have not studied it all that much, but I'm aware of some of the ins and outs of it. But I remember that like, what is it? The ABC, that is the stop hunt for wave something. So we'll see. And look, guys, that right there could be a very, very, very normal retracement. If we come over here and just want to move down a little bit, let's do this. So we've had a push up, and so in the midst of that, say that that's our low point. Oh, sorry, not that. Thank you. Fib from that low, coming up to there, that high. You know, where does that put us? 50%, 61.8, like that zone right there, guys. Most of you might know this already from studying a bit of Fibonacci, especially if you tune into Curtis Cobain on DCX. But anywhere between, you know, when you get a high, once we break the 236, this red line, this fib becomes active, I believe, and then from there we can expect these levels, like a 382 be a strong trend if we push off on there, and a 0.5. So 50% retracement would not be weird at all. So anywhere in there could be a zone to expect a little retest buy opportunity. Let's do that and get rid of this fib. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that would be completely normal, guys. Price coming up, pulling back 50 to 60%, and then going again. And that might be, you know, what we're seeing there might be, you know, 5 waves on the 1 minute. We zoom out and that'll be, you know, 1 wave and a correction on a higher time. Probably not all that much higher. Let's just see what it looks like. Like, for instance, 3 is not quite enough for that to look like 1 strong wave, but it will on some of them. So maybe a 15. Let's have a look. And I'm really starting to talk about stuff I don't know too much about, but you can see there on the 15-minute, that might be 1, pull back, test, and then 3, that next push up from here. I believe 3 is usually the longest wave. So, or can be at least. So that would be very normal, guys. If we push up from there, pull back to here, and then run to that level of 12,850. So, you know, I might be watching paint dry a little bit during this little sell, but yeah, could be very, very normal for that to happen. My phone's annoying. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Looks like those bands are almost wanting to expand. just look like that. Just do this. Oh, look, looks like the cell might just almost be ready. We're in hopper mode pretty much. This might be a Mackie scalp if it rolls over here. So let's see. Wouldn't surprise me. Hey, good night, Happy. Thanks, man. Michael, thanks, guys. So appreciate you all being here. Never any pressure to hang around until the end, but I'll be here till at least 9. So by all means, guys, if you've got questions, commentary, whatever you're seeing, let's see. 3 minute or above purple. Band's contracting on there. Let's go. See, even there, guys, there on the 3 minute was, you know, some divergence for that move down. Those higher highs there. Oh gosh, not that. Sorry, not that. Like seeing that move coming, those higher highs. There you go. And these lower highs right there, like that right there, guys, is a high. It's kind of like a peak. If you looked at this as like a line on the top of these, that there is a high and it's lower than that high. So right there was, you know, as soon as that turned opaque on that bar, that was, you know, the indecision went up, came down, closed there. That there was a pretty strong indication that we might come back down lower. So from here, I'm just looking for some, I mean, we're already divergent for a move up on that time frame. If I go back, sorry. Let's just see. So I mean, big picture here, we've still got these higher lows, and we've still got these lower lows. So I mean, but we could come lower. Like obviously this could print lower down and we could still be in divergence for a move up. But it's just a case of how low we come. So we've been testing this purple. If we break down below 12.21, 4 pips lower, sure enough, we might then bust down, test a bit lower. We'll see. We will see. 382 though, probably somewhere in there is also a very realistic place to bounce off. Let's do this. That's histogram I like to think of as energy. Just reading Happy's comment here. When it rolled over and went transparent, I would call that an energy exhaustion. Love that. Watching the histogram, think of it as energy. Really cool. Thanks, bro. Love it. You got such great language for all of this. Okay, we'll keep on this. Let me get back on the 1 minute. And, you know, hopefully you guys have also got your own charts open next to you. I'm just watching. I'm watching and see if this is going. The cell's going to see. We basically look at this: test, rejection, test, rejection, test, rejection, test, rejection. Rejection of a line, guys, is what we're looking for. And then again, it's see if this is one of those like watch. Is it going to go and then suddenly it's pretty common. So we'll see. Big deal. But remember, obviously that big picture is up. So when are these candles closing? Let me just take a look. So 5 minutes to go, 15 minute will close soon. 5 minute candle probably just closed. That may have been that little jump. So yeah, 4 minutes on the 15. Take a look. Yellow brick road still on the 5, but if this one closes lower, then sure enough we'll start to see that test. Keep an eye on this. Still above, still in buy mode on the 3. Obviously with a dot flip. See, look at that. Still a rejection, guys. Look at that. So I came back to that 1 minute candle. We saw that little vroom, but sure enough, still indecision. That there. Let's check. Let's see. Still just hanging around the sell hopper. It's looking like it's about to roll over. A little bit of band contraction. Struggling to get lower than these lows, but if it does, watching the energy is indicative of what can happen. Just reading Happy's comment. It's like an alarm. It's like an early warning signal. Warning of reversal or trend exhaustion. Love it. And see, look at that. Also now we've got our yellow and what was green now turning red, that EMA. So there you go. There's that. Here it comes. Let's see if it goes. Looks like it's about to. Already got the sell signal, guys. Remember, and now we've just been, flirting with this line, rejecting, closing below. So, everything's in play here for the sell, except the band's contracting. So they could suddenly start expanding, but a little bit of sideways action. But again, I mean, this could be a very small ABC. I don't know. We've already got A, B, C. That might be a bit small, but I mean, we're looking at a 1 minute chart. So even from here, I feel like we need to hit something before we just suddenly bounced up on a different time frame. So I really want to leave this page right now. So that's starting to so close. There you go, bouncing into purple. So I mean, on the 3 minute, there's a reason to reject. We could push up, but see, look at this. Look at this. The angle of the mid BB on the 3 is just still pointing up like crazy. See what happens though. Look, there we go. Here we go. There you go. Band's expanding a little bit. Bumped into pink now, but let's see. That might be that, bumping into a stronger line on that high time frame could be enough to bounce off. A minute to go, what could close above there, but looks like it's putting its fingers down. So if we bumped into black on the 312, 6 more pips down. Going on the 5. Pushing down further. Boom. So look at that, guys. Doing its thing. How low can we go? At least 711, I'd say. So there we go. Like if we came down on the 5 minute chart, guys, that green box is sitting right there on the middle of the road. So possible. Looks a bit extreme from here, but very nice. Follow the rules. That's the main thing. Right now, we're in sell, following the yellow brick road, band's expanding. This could play out to its target. Oh, look at that. I mean, the target, yeah, like I said, it's in that 50 to 60% retracement zone. So a valid, what I would call counter trend sell, because our overall theme is still very much up. Buy signals on even the 15 minute and etc. There we go. Expansion of bands, looking like it wants to push and break through here and do a little bit of a something. Definitely feels like watching a bit of paint dry, but nice to not be doing it by myself. Not in the cell, but not chasing it. Got those pips in the beginning, and yeah, let's see. If you want to play it safer, just don't take counter trend and wait for all the stars to line up. Signals with hoppers, guys. When you've got divergence, rejection of a line, bands expanding, dot outside, especially monitoring those high time frames, will radically increase chance of success. So there we go, push through pink. Next stop, probably purple. Maybe not straight away. Could even just dance above pink for a little bit, still come back up, close above and run above, and then those bands are expanding nicely. So I don't know if anyone's in the cell trying to go for it, but if you were, it's a bit of a pain if you entered on the signal, because in this case, sure enough, coming back up, being counter trend. But if you did, that stops pretty high, so we could expect a move. So that's why it's calling it down there, right? 2 to 1, look at that. So I mean, this algorithm obviously is programmed to call it like 2 to 1. So a bigger stop, what have we got there? 12.25, 12.48. So I mean, what is that? Like a 23, something like that, 23 pip stop. There we go, doing its thing. Can completely expect it within the rules to come down here. Nothing's guaranteed, but that's generally the thing. If the dot's that far away and the stop is that big, you can expect double the stop loss risk distance in a move. So, and sometimes, tighter stop, you can still see a massive move, but that's why that stop is further away. Yeah, looks like this thing could play this out. And then if you want, and you're taking what Michael said about those high time frame swing highs, then yeah, you could look for an entry zone in the screen box, guys. Look at that. I love this. So if you were in the cell, you're hanging out line down here. but already obviously in profit from that sell if you were. Dan, what do you say? Starting to get divergence on 1 minute chart to the upside. Yeah, let's see. So I guess the thing is from where? So we've got, as at now, we've got lower lows and lower lows here. But yeah, if we go further back, help me, bro. You might be seeing something I'm not. So really, we've got a whole lot of lower lows going this far back. From here, we've got higher lows, like what we had with that. Oopsie, sorry. The close outside of the band would have me wanting to go short. The close outside of the band. Oh, there we go. Look at that, pushing down. Look at that. The close outside the band. Oh yeah, so the candle closing outside the band. So we have, and still going. So lower lows, higher lows. Okay, so sorry, other way around. So lower lows, higher lows. You have to help me, bro. I think these I might be missing it. Divergence. Oh, okay, sorry, there we go. Yeah, so that's the tricky part. So when let's pull this up in front of me. What do we got? So yeah, lower lows, higher lows. Yeah, that would have been, yeah, depending on if that, yeah, so over there we could have been, we were at one point, lower lows, higher lows still, but then yeah, push down, I suppose, a few more bars, and then, but that's the thing, it's just being aware of that. Exactly, would have been, key. And that's the thing, you're going to see divergence, and it's not going to be an instant reversal, but that's A, B, C, D. Always be checking divergence. So when you're in the trade, say you were in the sell, you're looking for divergence against you for that move up. Like, look at that. Look at that. With the green box closing above. I don't know if we'll get to the target or not. Let me get this out the way. I mean, we're still, sorry. That's still higher lows and lower lows. So we're still very much divergent for our move up, provided, from this point, we still stay above there. See that low is just below that target. So if we wick that target line, we're still very much divergent for a move up. And I think that will be the go. Like, I can't see us. Look, anything can happen. This could flush, come all the way down, stop hunt people beneath these lows. Anything can happen. But the 50%, very normal. So 2 to 1, staying on the target. I'll get rid of that. Let's see if this is a bit better. Let's see. Coming back towards the yellow. Outside the Bollinger Band there, happy. I feel like there's a mini lecture in that right there. You probably know what standard deviation this Bollinger Band is just by looking at it. But there we go. We might 2.0. Love it. So yeah, look, guys. I mean, we're wicking the green box, and remember, just to show you that fib again and how we got that. You go over here, same in TradingView. This is basically just TradingView inside of the Academy scanner. So you click there, all these different Fibonacci options. Fib retracement is going to be from the low, the lowest, the most recent lowest low, which is down this candle here. Going to click, drag up, and then put it on the high, which is up here. And then inside of here, you can see basically what this means is price has run up to a high, from a low point to a high point, and then it's pulling back 26 or 0.23. So I mean, these are not my normal settings like from TradingView. So it looks like we're pushing down towards the target. Again, look at that. Target line, done. Hit the target line. James's strategy is amazing. Perfect little trade. See, there we go, wicked it. Let's see if we now wicked it, closed, open a new candle. Let's see if we go from there. Very interesting. Okay, might come to the 61, a little bit lower, all things possible. But if I was to make this mine, I would have to again do this, I want 786 to be red as well. I want you to be gold. Just got Curtis Cobain signals in my head, so I'm probably missing something, but that'll do for now. 236. Yeah, that'll do. So, for instance, even right here, guys, if we break through that green box, last line of defense, 786, 886 zone, this is the next place you could expect it to come if we break through that normally. But if we come that low, sure enough, at the same time, could stop, come for a little stop hunt. But so basically, as prices run up, pulled back. Oh, sorry, that's what I was going to do. Change this to percent values. There, roll down. Not values, I want percents. There we go. So basically, price says when it's pulled back to the red line, it's pulled back 23.6% of its high. Then it's pulled back 382. That's like a strong trend. If we were in a very strong trend, pull back to there. And in different Elliott waves, like in different waves, there's going to be a higher percentage chance of a 382 to 50% retracement. And in a wave, whatever, you could have a high chance of all the way down to 618. So right here, we pulled back 50. We pulled back, we're in between 50 and 61. Highly likely chance of reversing to this level. Like we were up here watching it, guys. And as soon as, I don't even think we broke this red line just yet, but I had that fib ready. And so knowing that we had a sell, just watching. So sure enough, as soon as that candle broke that red line, that was another, and the bands are expanding obviously there too. That just completely validated the likelihood of a retracement to that level. So I'll get rid of the fib again, just to try and clear this noise up. You guys are getting something from this, but yeah, just another measure of how these things are all put together. But yeah, look at that, guys. Closing above, wicked it, closed above, pushed low. Look at that. Look at that wick. That red wick a minute ago. We wicked the 61.8, you know, to within a pip. I mean, or within 2 pips. It pushed 2 pips lower. I mean, come on, that's incredible. Guys, the markets are not hard to understand. It's just some time and some study. I would stay short until the price crossed up for 125. Okay, so I would use a second Bollinger Band. Oh yeah, okay, 1.25 Bollinger Band. I see what you're saying. Or exit condition. In this strategy, watching the moving averages as an exit condition. Rejected off yellow. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, at the moment, yeah, following the yellow brick road, dude. So this is James's strategy to a T. Following the yellow brick road. We haven't closed above it yet. We're coming towards it here, but still rejecting it. So once we close on the other side of that yellow EMA, down there, really great sign. I mean, even this, you know, this wick closing above, you know, no greed. That's that 2-to-1 trade done. Could push lower, but really I'll be locking in already, and probably I would have taken that trade off the table as soon as we wick that target line. Could push lower, but you know, there's enough divergence playing out here. Lower, right here, like right here as at now. Divergence, guys. Lower lows. So let's make that blue. Something there, just to break it up from the colors that are on here. Teal, no, it's probably too bright for you guys to see. It's got green. And here, like as at now, guys, we've got divergence for a move up. So again, okay, we're pushing a little lower. One more test to the 618. See, there's probably another candle on another time frame doing this. Coming down lower. Still divergent for a move up, guys. You can see where's the signal. Starting to turn. Starting to turn slowly but surely. Just because we've got divergence again doesn't mean it's going to reverse instantly. The PSAR is great as it gives the system a bias. With PSAR greater above the price, we have a bearish bias. Yeah, perfect, bro. Love it. That's yeah. So now we are still closing above the 618. Like, look at that, guys. Like, isn't this incredible? Like, we drew a 60, like a retracement on here, fib retracement, and price is so far. Look at how it's respected those lines. Like that candle closed, bang on it. That one there wicked on it perfectly. Came back up, rejected yellow, pushed down, wicked our target, tested yellow, pushed down, wicked through the 618, tested yellow, pushed down, closed above 618, yellow, and then close above. This might be the beginning of a reversal potentially. Yep. One more little push through. Wow. Okay, there we go. I think that is a sort of bearish hammer candle, I believe. Bullish would be if the center body was higher up. So if that wick came down and the body was higher up there, it would be a reversal candle. For instance, if this candle gets real skinny, the body of it closes up here, it would be a reversal candle. But look at that, we're coming down to this next zone. Anyone's still in this trade and you took the sell, you're making money. All bearish engulfing. Yep, there we go. Yeah, true. That one there, right? That one engulfed. Yeah, so we've had all of those. Bang on, Dan. Very good observant. Let's see. So this is the hard part, guys. Like if you were just taking that by signal at the top at the end of, 5 waves up, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like on this 5th wave, you're normally going to get a retracement, like an A, B, C. And so taking that as your entry for the big picture swing and that big stop, sure enough, whatever, that, you'd be in drawdown throughout this entire cell going like, are we going to reverse? Are we going to reverse? But even here, like we've got, divergence off that 786 level, still very divergent from move up. But yeah, like right now, if we start getting, proper divergence here, this could be the opportunity. Not now to enter a buy under dynamic edge. We need to close on the other side of the black and get a signal. Perfect example of why we wait for close and the confirmation. Love it, bro. It's so happy. So look at that though. On the 786, 78.6% retracement from the top. Last line of defense. And big swings, this is called a supply and demand zone. 786, 886 zone, just high probability reversal zones, guys. So just something to add on. I know if you're in Forex, the Forex Academy, you might not have as much teaching on that. It's really Curtis Cobain's specialty. Curtis learned, he's the top DCX educator. Crypto Picasso has been doing it the longest for about 10 years. He's the GOAT. But Cobain he only traded with indicators and every fancy indicator you could get. He had a friend tell him, here you go, close above yellow, I'm out, nice, happy, there we go. So that candle closed above yellow. We'll open, let's see. Yeah, so 15 seconds, we'll see where it closes. It's tested above. If it closes on the other side, and that will be it. But yeah, he used a lot of indicators. He had a friend tell him, hey, you should try this thing. It's called Fibonacci. He's like, I can't spell it. I'm not using it. But eventually gave it a test and he won 30 out of 40 trades just using fibs, just what I drew with that Fibonacci retracement zone. So he wanted to design his entire education strategy so that he could teach his kids. 0 indicators. He teaches trend lines, Fibonacci, what I just drew out, and supply and demand zone. That's it. He doesn't ever reference an MACD, an RSI, nothing, which I love. I love indicators. It helps. It gives you a whole nother layer of what you're looking at. But if you're just trading crypto and building a portfolio and you're keeping it super basic, and you just want to learn how to draw fibs, then in the midst of this run, you can see like this would be the low risk, high reward zone, because if you're entering here and your stop's below the low and you're looking for that wave up, like right now we've had one big wave up and a pullback. So that would be 1, 2, and stops down here if you're entering for a buy, but wait until we're on the other side. Yeah, look at that. It's still, look, we've got, MACD turning around. Let's have a look at the 3 minute. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So 3 minute, starting to get a bit, slowly starting to turn, right? Slowly starting to turn, still closing above on the 3 minute, closing, respecting that level beautifully. All looking like it wants to go a little bit lower. There we go. So we haven't quite turned around yet on the actual signal line. Wanting to come down here. This is the reason why I love dynamic edge, guys. It's if you enter with these parameters, you can scalp your way into a swing. So for instance, if you entered down here and you took the most of your trade out following the rules, brilliant. But if you were holding on, letting some of your position in, you're sitting right here with your stop loss on this dot, kind of hanging out in a bit of the red zone right now, but for that bigger move. So, that's all part of it. If you want to swing trade, you got to have a much deeper stop. But we are definitely diverging for a move up from between on the 5, higher low, lower low. It's all on. We just need a bit of a turnaround. Wicking. 50 minutes is going to be a big wick. There you go. 2 wicks closing a bar. Or have a sell signal on the 15, but let's see. Where's we had here? So that to me looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down. So this is either one or two things. It's either an A, B, C, and then a continuation, or like we saw in those high time frames, a reversal, which would then be, you know, wave 1, 2, 3, that pink target Michael talked about, 4, possibly 5. Not rocket science, guys. Just a little bit of time working through all the videos. And guys, this is the thing. So for dynamic edge, you only really required to do the 100 and 200 series in the FRX Academy for those videos. I think most of you guys know this because James and Rosa in the chat will reference that. But the 300, I mean, I did the 300 series in one night. Like it's just, I mean, for those of you that haven't done it, I bothered to go and write out every single video in there, write down how long they are, figure it out so I could really tell people, this is how long you need a budget to study. The 100, 200 series, you got 30 videos there, they're 3 hours long. 300 series, you got 9 videos and they're just under 2 hours in total, an hour 45, I think. And then the 400 series is meaty. There's 23 videos in there and it's almost 9 hours worth. So the bulk of it is in that 400 series because there's some lengthy videos on market geometry, harmonic patterns, in depth. But that Elliott wave stuff in there is brilliant, guys. Like really, like when you actually, that is really the crux of what Michael teaches is Elliott wave and divergence. And so when you have an understanding of Elliott wave, you're going to be like, okay, what's going on here? Like here we've got on a 5 minute, we've got a wave up and a wave down. And if we stay above here, 1, 2, right now we could get a 3, and 3 is normally the biggest wave. And so if we get another signal here on the 15 minute and, you know, everything else is still pointing up, epic opportunity, like to enter on the lower time frame, like a 1 minute with a real small lot and a big stop to protect. Once we get that reversal and that move and we get that third wave, I mean, look at this one wave here, guys. How big was one wave? From there to there was 122 pips. So I would expect something bigger than 122 pips on that third wave. And obviously you're going to enter on the other side. But once it begins, like obviously that third wave is going to begin down here, but then once it crosses the mid BB from that point, you know, we'll know. But yeah, it's exciting. Look at that, 19 seconds to go. Look at that candle closing above the zone, wicked into the 786, 886 zone, but closing above. Fibonacci blows my brain every time. Unbelievable. There we go. Not quite a reversal candle, but we'll see. Next one's gonna, sometimes it lags a little bit. There we go. See what happens. Turning opaque, 15 minutes, turning around. Oh, wait, that's a 5. 15 may have just closed. No. Yeah, 9 minutes to go on that one. That might be our reversal candle. Give it another 9 more minutes. See where that closes. Might even turn green. Let's go to 3. Look at that, it's 20 past 9. Time flies when you're talking to yourself, right? Hope you guys are enjoying this. 3 minute, turning around there. And you can see like these 3 minute candles. Yeah, okay, good, love it, Dan. Let's see, there we go, look at that. So the 1 minute, guys, you're seeing that roll around, crossing. See, check that out, man. Band's closing in. We might get a bit of range here before we fully reverse, but just having time for that, you know, the EMA to come down in the middle of the road. So like all there, closing below, closing the other side. Now we're properly on the other side of the yellow. So I mean, you know, following the yellow brick road, you were out like at the absolute latest on this candle, or at the end of this candle, and now this is the absolute. I mean, really, you know, dot flip right there would have been your real exit, which, you know, anywhere. Sorry, dot flip. My bad, wrong one. On that candle pushing up. Yeah, if you were still in the trade coming down here, 786. I mean, that's already beyond greedy because we've hit the target line and pushed lower. But here now we're looking like we might be having our divergence play out. Let's see, we could even, look, there's no guarantee we're going to shoot straight past it. Bands are coming together. After a big move, what do we get? Normally a bit of range. So, thanks, Drew. There we go. 3 minute wants to close on the other side, turning around. There we go. On the other side, dot's not on the outside, so we will get a signal in about 40 seconds if this plays out. Could still push under, guys. Like this can still, this is the beauty of it. No candle is finished until it's finished printing. And that's why you don't enter early. Because for instance, if you're like, oh, we've crossed, enter, dot flip, we've crossed, I want to get in early. In 28 seconds, this candle can still close beneath that black and still actually push down. But we'll see. It's looking like it's approaching a hopper. But it's, yeah, just no breaking the rules. Bands are looking like they're starting to expand again a little bit. So we'll probably get a signal here in 10 seconds. Or maybe the next candle. So let's see what happens. But if you're looking for a re-entry, guys, then there we see, look at that. Look at that. Exactly. Close below. That is why the rules are the rules. What is the exit rule? Happy basic rules for exiting dynamic edge. So 2 to 1 is what we're looking for. So once you've gotten that, you can lift your stop or take something off the table. A dot flip is going to be another rule. Like, you know, as soon as the dot flips, I mean, right there, that's your first indication. All right, lift your stop. I mean, James's strategy, excuse me, music if it's a bit loud. James's strategy, he doesn't like to set targets for usually exit. He actually rather likes to just lift to stop, and get stopped out. But obviously you're going to lock in pretty tight. So is it the basis? The basis being the middle of the road. Let's see, look at that, push straight back down again like that. Black, yeah, the basis being, yeah, I thought so. So no, if we were breaking, I wouldn't say it was the middle of the road. Like at that point, once we've turned around, you got the divergence is really the next thing. Like if you've got divergence showing up against us on a dot flip, like that there could have exited. And obviously we've got divergence for a move up. So at this point, you know, if you're believing that this is going to keep going down and you've got divergence against you, that's really crossing your fingers and toes. But for instance here though, if you're looking for a continuation, like, yes, we've got divergence for a move up. We had a move up. We had a move up to the mid, and sure enough, we rejected. And so some guys, sometimes if you've got a real strong move playing out on a higher time frame and you think we're going to go even lower, then that could have been a re-entry for a sell right there. So yeah, in terms of exits, it's more like lock in tight and get stopped out. Like James pretty much always gets stopped out rather than actually exit. He might close some trades, but I've heard more that he normally likes to actually just lock in tight and tight and tight and tight, and then boom, stopped out. Look at that though. Interesting. Let's see. Push lower. Wow. Okay. So lower than the 886. That's quite something. Real something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 waves down. I don't know. Could be. Yeah, I don't really ever draw all the wave things in here. Harmonic patterns. Oh, there we go. So in this case, we may have just seen this, something to that effect. We just saw 5 waves play out down there. Pretty stoked with my little green line that obviously went further. But at that point when I drew it, we were just flirting with that black. Let's see. Full stop hunt happening here, really. It's coming down, see if it's going to test. That's probably like a 90% retracement right now. There's also a value that we can see a reversal from, but lower than that. Interesting. And there, guys, look at that. Divergence for a move down was here. So we've got lower highs, right? Let's make this red. Lower highs. And on the bottom, what do we have? Higher highs. So that point right there, approaching. So we were already divergent actually for a move down. So the divergence, the lower lows, higher lows, right between here and here as that now. We had divergence for a move up. That divergence played out. It played out right to there. But as soon as price came up high, we've got lower highs on top of higher highs. So we were likely to potentially have a what? A move down. Our higher time frame of 3 minute and 5 minute was still bearish on the MACD, so the bearish pressure was still in play. Very good. Yeah, thanks, man. What am I? I'm on the one still. So right there, guys, that, for instance, bearish divergence approaching the mean, like the black, running up into that would have been an opportunity to re-enter a sell. Or so the bullish divergence played out towards the middle, but coming towards rejection of a line into divergence, highly likely. Let's get that out the way. And let's see, still pushing. Real, like, yeah, like, I mean, yeah. So from here, we've got two things going on. We could either, oh, no, sorry, didn't zoom up high enough. Yesterday, on the wrong time frame to be doing this kind of stuff, but hang on, way too noisy. So, a little messy, but similar. High point. 1. High point. 2. And then we've got messy. Still lower, and then 3, 4, 5. So right there we had our high. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit of mess in the middle there, but it's still, you know, highs and lows. And so what we can get after 5 waves down is either an ABC correction, which looks like, and this is definitely not my forte, guys, so this is not my thing, but you get an A, 0, A, B, C, or the beginning of, oh, sorry, no. Oh, what was that? So I was drawing too much there. So it can either be the ABC, which is the retracement after the 5 waves, or it can be a reversal and 5 waves begin in the other direction. So for those of you who remember Mike teaching us some of that stuff, it's all in the 400 series. But so I should have clicked ABC. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we're going from here, that being now 0, 1, 2, 3, retest somewhere around there, 5. Like, that would make complete sense to me. And that 5 coming up to test these highs, we'll see. 5, you know, might not, you know, something like that. Who knows? So it can be an A, B, C, but it can also, so if it's an A, B, C, it will then come up here and then reject, and you'll see another continuation of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. But in this case, with the amount of divergence in high time frames, it's more likely it's not an ABC, it's probably 1, 2, 3. So from this point, guys, we could see, it looks like we've got this reversal playing out. So I'm going to zoom back in because we've probably already crossed, man, are we getting close to the line? There we go, already. Oh, guys, sorry, I'm zoomed out. So there we go, we've crossed over, probably get a signal in 18 seconds. Dot outside. So lower highs, higher highs, possible. Into a hopper, look, it's possible. Let's see, I haven't done too much, but we've got that divergence. This could be the beginning of our move back up. A little bit of divergence there, but as soon as this high breaks that, we've got higher highs, higher highs. So might come back down for a little test. Let's see what's up. Into hopper mode, if it pushes down a little, might get a little bit of a better entry, but otherwise late. So see there, a little bit of pressure. Let's check the 5. No, nothing to reject it there. 3 minutes on that. We've already rejected red. Coming back down to yellow, so we might just see a little bit of a push down, but there it's wanting, looks like it wants to go. In hopper mode. Still, you know, the mean's still pretty flat, pointing at like 3 o'clock. So this might just go a little sideways before it ramps, but we are in hopper mode. But look at that, you see? That's why I sometimes like to wait, guys. I'm not in. Just because you got a signal, it's really easy to get that signal and enter at the top of that candle, which can be a little bit painful. There, see, look at that, coming down, testing yellow. See, now you've got an opportunity. Just a better entry. Patience pays. So we'll see. This might go in my face, but not outside. But I believe that's the bottom of our wave 2. And from here, might be time to party. And that sell was pretty huge. In the end, what do we get? If you were in there, depending on where you exited, man, we came down 88 pips. Target line was somewhere there. So there was a 40, man, there was at least 45 pips, almost 50 in that sell based on the stop, you know, on the dot. That called a 50 pip trade. And right now, what do we got? We got a huge one. So, hey, check this out. It's calling. Entered on the bottom of the candle on the signal. 71 pips, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Depending on your entry, you might be a few pips in the red, depending on your broker and whatnot. But yeah. Let's see. Based on that stop, you are somewhere there. You either got the retest of the line, which is what I waited for. If you entered there, I mean, obviously if you entered up there, that'd be a little painful. But let's see. On there. So that's calling at 2.78. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Corbin, Dan, Sam, happy? Stoked to have you guys here. I'm having fun, so that's why I'm still here. Even though it's 9:35. I'm sorry, 9:34. Dot outside. Potential second wave completion. Beginning of the third. Come on. See, now it's just being rude. Ah, pain. Let's see if we come lower than this. That would surprise me. Let's see. Lower highs, higher highs. Yeah. So yeah, a little divergence for this move down from that point because we didn't push up higher. Oh, come on. And obviously if you want to be even next level safe, wait for a signal on the 3. Wait for a signal on the 5. I mean, that's, yeah, not learning a lot, but about to go. No worries, Sam. Great to have you with us, bro. Got to drop off. Good session. Thanks, Dan. Great having you here, bro. Catch up for a chat soon. Probably wrap us up in a couple minutes. But yeah, I want to see how this plays out. Really just keen to see how my earlier wave stuff plays out because that's still pretty new for me. Oof. Yeah. There you go. So I would have been stopped on that one. That is just mean. Oh. Another 1 minute sell coming down lower. Oh my word, it's hunting these lows. Yeah. See, and that's what happened. So when was market open? 8? Yeah. So if market open was here, guys, what are we looking at? We're looking at, remember what Michael taught us in that manipulation session, market manipulation, where, you know, we've got guys in the buy already and the banks want to push it in a direction and then push it all the way back down to grab the liquidity of those that are down here. So they can ride it and push it and suck people in, especially that big candle right there. But in the midst of that, what often happens is, sure enough, all the way back down to stop hunt the guys that have got their stops down here who decided to enter for that longer swing. And right now we're doing that. We are literally, look at that. So you might not be able to see that, but you see price coming in line with our lowest low, which is crazy. Onto that PSAR dot for that initial buy. Well, no, even that's already done that, because that would have been your entry on the signal. And with a wick. And that now might be the reversal. So yeah, like Mikey said, got to take a few bites of the apple sometimes. We are 6 minutes into the new half-hour candle. What does that look like? Hey, thanks, Joe. Let's have a look. All right, 30 minutes. A little messy. Sure. Little double bottom action. Still in sell mode from that signal on the 30-minute at 10:30 this morning, which would have been from 1271. Yeah, almost. And calling this target down here. So, okay, bigger picture, far out. Look, my Elliott wave stuff might be off, so just messy, I suppose. It's not always perfectly clean. That could still very much. I don't know why there, unless we're looking at much bigger fib from there. Let's see. From that move, you go from the most recent move. So let's see if I go from low point. Let's go low point there. So that target on that zoom out is between 382 and 50%. 50% lines up bang on that purple EMA. So yeah, I mean, based on this, guys, big move. We've got divergence for a move up on higher time frames. That doesn't mean that, you know, momentum has shifted, but price can keep coming down. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah, we could still very much true 30 minutes, but I'd be surprised. I don't know. So that's a big fat wick. I don't know. It's the 1 hour do. I think another minute or so, guys. Only a couple of us left. There you see, testing pink on the 1 hour, man. Look at that. James's EMAs. Like, wick. Big engulfing. Target. So yeah, I mean, on the 1 hour, like we could still push a bit lower, but like, you know, if you're swing trading, like Michael said, his stop is down there somewhere underneath the low, which is like 300 pips. Where are we? 300 pips lower than where we are right now. So you got to be okay with the 300 pip drawdown. So I mean, yeah, $1 a pip, you're looking at $300 in the red, but to make one heck of a move up. So if you're trading $1 a pip, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, some heck of a candle. Rejection. A minute. Got our divergence on the 5, lower lows, higher lows. Hands expanding still. Let's see. 3 minute. Yellow brick road. Okay, still coming for this target on the 3 minute, man. 3 minutes, these 3 minute targets. Okay, happy. Yeah, they normally can be a little bit exaggerated. I've noticed some of the time the 3 minutes seems to be, for whatever reason, quite pushed out. But obviously here, now that we've broken these lows, yeah, come down, sweep some liquidity. That ultimate low being there at 630. And we've pushed as low as 616, 15 pips below the low. Yeah, that's just a nice little stop hunt right there. Especially those engulfing bars, man. To me, that looks like, yeah, lots of decent push down to get the market down. 1 minute time frame, suck them in for a few buys. Like maybe a buy. No, we're still pushing. That 1 minute target. Look at me. See, this is the thing, you just can't have a bias of we're going up. We probably are, but retracements are all a part of it. It's never a straight line up. And so, yeah, like if we do, like to me, this doesn't work anymore because this is lower. 2 shouldn't be lower, shouldn't violate 1 or 0. So, like I said, I am not the Elliott wave dude, but if I got my waves down wrong. One, 2, 3, 4, no. 5, man. I know you can get an extended 5th wave, but yeah. Thanks, Ty. Time to go play video games. Hardest part about trading is it's like, it never ends. Yeah, good night. Thanks for, oh, dude. Thank you. All right, well. Okay. Well, I feel like we are approaching this reversal, but need to wait and see. Some divergence happening. I think it's time to call it a night and wait for this buy entry, but I need to wrap up the Zoom and probably record it. So, okay, thanks for hanging out, bro. Hope you had a good evening. Sorry, I'm looking there because that's where the chat box is on my other screen. But yeah, man, stoked to have you here. And hope you have a good rest of your evening. Ooh, that looks like it might be us starting to move towards a bit of reversal territory. Come on. Anyway, sweet, bro. I'll that for tonight. But yeah, thanks for being here. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Catch you later. Bye.